Welcome to DevOps India. Please subscribe the channel for more videos on Amazon Web Services and DevOps.
Hello friends, I'm back with another video of DevOps India. In last video we have seen how we can deploy our code using code deploy service with the help of in-place deployment. In this video we are going to see how this blue-green deployment does work actually. For blue-green deployment, so I have created a auto scaling group, a ALV, and there are two instances behind the load balancer. So let me show you my EC2 instances. So you can see there are two EC2 instances right now available, and all these instances are behind the auto scaling group. Okay, and there is load balancer called code deploy ALV, and the target group is code deploy TG, and you can see both the instances are under this target group. Now let me show you how we can create a code deploy application. Okay, let's get it started. Custom deployment. As in my earlier video I have told you what is sample and custom deployment, so I'm not going to tell you about what is custom, what is sample deployment. Just skip through. Okay, so the application name is my web app, and it is for obviously EC2 instances and my web app group. Okay, now we are going to select blue green deployment. There we go. Okay, you can see automatically copy auto scaling group or manual provision instance, or we are going to choose the auto scaling group. Okay, so I have mentioned the auto scaling group name, and you can see both the instances coming under this auto scaling group. Now you can select your load balancer. I have load balancer with name of code deploy TG. This is the target group. And moving forward to the advanced, as I shown you in last video, you can create trigger, alarm, and just don't forget to check this rollback whenever you got any failed. And the service role, so I have created one service role, and the service role name is the code deploy role. Okay, so application is created, so we need to create a Jenkins job for triggering this code deployment application. Okay, so let me navigate to my Jenkins UI. Jenkins right here. So I'm going to create a job that will pull code from repository and trigger the code deploy application. Name code deploy job, freestyle project. Okay, and the URL of my repository. Git as a source code management. Git as a source code manager. And in post build action, deploy an application to AWS Code Deploy. Okay, AWS Code Deploy application name. Application name is my web app, and the group name is my web app group, and the config deployment config is right here, code deployment default one at a time. The reason is US East 1. Okay, I have created one S3 bucket as well. And the S3 bucket name is code deploy, and the prefix is code. Okay, and I am going to use my access key and secret key for this video, but it is not a best practice to do. So usually we create a global variable or we assign a specific role to the application for triggering or doing such actions. For this demo I am going to use my secret key and access key. And ship. So we are good to go. Let me trigger this job. And what this job says, it is downloading the code. Oops. Oops, the job got failed. It is because it didn't get the appspec.yml. Okay, got it. So I have checked the option that the YML file name should be like this, but in my repository the file name is appspec.yml. So I have selected one option which I should not. And this one, the appspec.yml as per deployment group. I should uncheck this. Okay, let me trigger it again. Downloading code, and it has created a zip of the code and uploaded on S3 bucket. You can check over here. Okay, it is right here, and at the same time it has triggered the application, and you can see it is in progress. Okay, so what it is doing behind all this, it is creating a auto scaling group with the same launch configuration, adding 2 instances in that auto scaling group. You can see all the original instances behind this auto scaling group, and all the new one will come in the replacement. So it will create another auto scaling group and add all 2 new instances in that. Once all the configuration or all the installation of on the instances will be done, it will start sending traffic on the replacement group, and at the same time it will stop sending traffic on the original one. And by the end of deployment, it will terminate all 2 original instances and replace new 2 instances instead of old one. So this process is going to take a couple of minutes, so I'm going to pause this video for a while. You can see it has launched 2 new instances. You can see the bottom 2 created, and if I go to auto scaling group, you can see there is one more auto scaling group, the first one with 2 new instances. What it is going to do, it will set up all the instances with this auto scaling group, and once it will done, it will remove the second one. Let me see the status of code deployment. It is still in process, so we can wait for a while. Now you can see first step is done, second one is in the process. So you can see 2 instances in the replacement and 2 in original, and the traffic status is yes for the original one and no for the new one. So we can see by events as well what are the steps performing on the instances. You can see, as I told in the my last video of code deploy. So these are the steps we have defined in the appspec.yml file, and let's see. Now in the next step, step 3, it will reroute all the traffic to the new replacement instances, and in last step it will terminate all the original instances. Now you can see one instance in the replacement group is ready and the traffic is started on that instance, and one is still in process, and you can see in the traffic state right here. So 2 original instances are getting traffic and the one in the replacement. As soon as the another instances will get the traffic, application deployment will delete the all old instances from that specific auto scaling group, as well as it will delete the auto scaling group. Now you can see all 4 instances are getting traffic, so it is going to delete the old one in the next step. So you can see in the original environment all 2 instances in process, and it is going to block the traffic. You can see event in these instances, what it is doing before block traffic, and after block traffic. These are the events going to perform on these instances. So we can wait for a while. Meanwhile, these instances are getting blocked for the traffic. You can see it is still in process because in load balancer, if you go to the load balancer, in target group you can see 2 instances are healthy and 2 are training. So it is getting deregistered from this target group. Now you can see it has routed all the traffic to the new instances, and it is going to delete instances from the auto scaling. So as soon as you click on this button, terminate button, it will terminate all the instances in that specific auto scaling group. So I just click on terminate and it will trigger a termination for all these instances. If I go to my EC2 instances, and I can see in a while it will turn to the, let me check my auto scaling group if it is, yeah, it is deleting. You can see it is getting deleted. So it may take some time in the process, so I'm going to pause this video. Meanwhile, it is deleting all the instances. So you can see all the instances in this auto scaling group are terminated. If you go to the EC2 dashboard, you can see what the instances were terminated. So this is how it does work. So I'm going to do it again for the latest code or if there is any update in the code. So I'm going to make a commit on my code manually. Okay. Let me make it. This is blue-green deployment. Okay, and new commit. Let's do it. Okay, and now I'm going to trigger my Jenkins job again. I didn't set any baybook that will automatically trigger Jenkins job whenever it get any update or it get any commit. So I'm doing it manually, but you can do it. You can set some baybooks on your repository for triggering Jenkins job whenever you get any new commit. So just build now, and okay, it is getting updated code, and the new commit you can see right here, and uploading new zip. The zip got success. Let me check the another deployment. So another deployment, you can see it is in process. If I click this deployment, okay, so it has started again. And if I check my load balancer, the text is still old. So we are going to wait for a while until all these steps got done. So you can see it has done all the 3 steps. Now I just click on the terminate, so it is going to terminate all the instances in that specific auto scaling group. And at the same time we can check what is the status of our code, whether it has changed or not. You can just refresh. Oh, you can see now it has the latest code. This is how this code deployment with blue-green deployment works, and it provides almost 100% availability of your application during the deployment. Also, I would suggest you, if you have not watched my last video on the code deployment, because couple of things I have left in this video and that I have covered in the last video. So I am requesting you to please watch that video first, then you can move on to the blue-green deployment. Okay, thank you for watching this video. I really expect from you guys to subscribe this channel and get the more details and tutorials on the AWS. Thank you. Hopefully you have subscribed channel already. If not, please do subscribe. My next video will be based on AWS CloudWatch. I will let you know how can you create custom metrics for memory usage and disk space uses. Apart from this, we are going to see how can you parse your Apache web server logs into CloudWatch and set a specific alarm on the basis of occurrence of a specific error.